Alright, so the craziest thing happened to me. I was in the shop and I'm like checking out to go get my stuff, and there was a long line, and I mean like pretty long. So everybody's waiting there, and I was in front of this woman the whole time. And then after about 15 minutes of a line, literally just to get like 2 things, okay, I finally get to go up and go like, there you are. I start paying, and then she just walks up to me and goes, you know there's a line. And I go, yeah. She goes, you need to wait in it. And I went, I wasn't it. I was in front of you. And she went, so you badged in front? I went, no, I've been in front of you the whole time. And she went off over to her friend and went like, tried to whisper it. She was attempting to whisper, but she was not whispering. And I know that because she was going, no way he was in front of me in the line. He was not. What a liar that little boy is. And then I left my stuff and then left. That was top 10 best English moments. But another time, because this is just a compilation story, but another time I was in the shop, you know, doing what everybody else does, shops in the shop. And then we go there and we're like, alright, gotta get stuff for everyone. Our friend wanted a Capri Sun because they're goated. We forgot the Capri Sun. So we went back, and then the cashier went, oh, not these kids again. When we were trying to buy another Capri Sun, and very naughty. And then we did our cash checkout, and then before, this is obviously a compilation, so I'm trying to get a lot of stories in here, but before that, my friend went into the shop and had bought a Lucozade, and he was just coming in with me and stuff, so we could buy a Lucozade. I don't know, I was just buying a Lucozade. And then this cashier is like, alright, buddy, you gotta pay for that. And then I'm like, I've already had it. I checked out with you about a minute ago. And he goes, no, you didn't. No, you didn't, buddy. Buddy Roo, you did not check out with me. And then he ends up getting another staff member over to come sort out this deal. And then he goes, I literally sorted out with you. And went, alright, let him off now, because I believe him, because I saw him checking out with you, doing the checking out with you. And then I went, hug, fine. And then we left. I drank my Lucas and went, damn, that was annoying. And then we went on with our day. And I remember one time I was in the shop and I'd just put something in my mum's trolley, you know, because it was getting snacks. And then some woman just came up, picked it out, and went, oh, this looks nice. Picked it up, took it out, and I went, oh, sorry about that, but that's ours. She went, what? No, it's not. I found this. And I was like, literally was just inside our trolley. Now, I myself have never worked. But, as you may have guessed, my mum has. And she is a key worker, which is someone who works with people with additional needs. And obviously, she has to go around with the kid to make sure they're doing okay in all their classes and stuff. And in her school, they had their music teacher who's very old, but she dressed like she was in her 20s with short skirts and, you know, stuff like that. But one day when they all went in, she was wearing an extra short skirt, dropped something and bent down, and this day she decided, let's not wear any pants to a school. It wasn't even a secondary one, this. She bends down and you can just see it, okay? I was not there. I go to a different school than this. But she said you could see it. And that's the thing, it was just all boys. And keep in mind, this was year 4. So my mum had to go off and tell one of the people about it. And yes, as somebody who legally cannot drive and sadly does not own a car, my ways of getting to places are obviously public transport. It's not the nicest place, but it gets you to A and B, point A to point B. and I can't complain. It's, not all that bad. Yeah, it's pretty bad. But anyway, it gets you there. It's not horrendous. It is alright. In my country, you have priority seats, which I do not know about other places. But priority seats are basically just for people with like walking issues or older people need to have those seats because they're closer. And keep in mind, this bus was a bit of a full on. It was on the weekend and it was going to this place. And these two older people walked in. And keep in mind, we were not in a priority seat. We were in the seats behind them, which means you don't need to get up for someone. And keep in mind, you don't need to get up, okay, obviously. And the bus started to get a bit busy. And these two older women came on. Healthy legs. But still, though, if they were on for a long time, me and my brother would go skate up. So me and my brother were sitting there, and we had got on the stop before, and then they got on. They walked past us, and out loud they went, "Look at those stupid idiot boys sitting in chairs." Out loud, like everybody on the bus could hear it. It was not subtle or quiet. It was just oh, look at those idiot boys sitting on their chair. Like, damn. I don't know what we did to you, but and just both of them, they were smiling. They literally got off about 5 seconds later. They literally got on at this stop, and then the stop that I'm pretty sure I could have ran to in faster time than the bus, they got off there. So I didn't exactly know why you wanted to have taken our seats, but. And yes, it was annoying, but me and my brother did not think much of it. And then they get off, and a few stops later, we get off. And I have not had many bad experiences, but I did have kind of a crazy one. Let it out. And obviously, I was getting the bus to the bus station, which is a place where all the buses go, to get home after school. Now, I wait for this bus that takes me to the bus station. And I was like really young, and this is like a bus barely anyone goes to. So it's not like there was a bunch of people there and you would know, like some people just chill out there. So obviously I get on the bus, there's like nobody there. And I sit in the front seat because, that's alright. I like the front seat. And obviously, nobody, one other person. So on our way to the bus station, there's a closed off route. Now, obviously, that road is closed off, so we have to go here. And there's a parking place for taxis. Now, it ends at one stop away from the road, and it doesn't matter how long you're there, you will just get a ticket. You can't park there, okay? The literal definition, you can't park there, mate. That one, okay? So basically, this guy is parked there, and the bus driver beeps at him, goes, "Oi, you can't park there," and he gets out, and they start having a shouting argument going, "No, you need to get, no, you need to move, you can't park." And the guy's like, "I'm literally just waiting for someone," and it sounds like he's waiting for his wife. So his wife gets back, and then they just still in the argument, and then he goes, "Right, mate, move," and then he finally moves, and he's still shouting at him to go, yeah, and then he goes back into the place, and he goes, "You know what, mate, I'm calling the cops," and he goes, "Yeah, better not call the cops." And then it eventually turns into that, and he just opens the door screaming, and this goes on for about 5 minutes. And he's just screaming, "Oh, yeah, blah, 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 blah." And then, eventually, the bus driver leaves. He's not going to sit. Anyways, he starts, getting into the argument, and eventually he steps out of his car. He, for some reason, has rocks, and I don't mean like tiny little peppers or anything. These are like decent-sized rocks. And he just starts launching them at it, and then he just closes the door before it hits it, and then he speeds off. "I've not it," and then I heard him go, "No, I'm much for emergency, because that's where it is, my country." He goes, "Alright, yeah, some guy parked there," and then by then we've already got to the bus station, so I'm pretty much me and the other person got off the bus, and that was one heck of a bus ride. That's what me and the other person probably thought. But well, kind of just crazy to think that like I was on a bus and I started eventually getting stoned. So I mean it wasn't all that bad because then I didn't actually have to wait for that long to get my bus, because I just got there, waited for about 5 minutes, and then the bus that took me home got here, and then I just hopped on, went home, completely forgot about it, and then brought it up again now a while later. And I have another story which is quite a short one, but basically I was on my bus, obviously getting home, and then I just got off the bus, obviously, to go back home, and then I see this guy. The bus is like heavy traffic, okay, so getting home kind of like, and then very heavy, and then there's a slight little gap opening. This guy in his massive car just goes straight through into it. And like, I mean, the bus has probably scratched his car, and he just acted like nothing's happened. Okay, if he had gone a few seconds later, he would have squished the entire damn car. His car just squished. Thankfully, I was up, but he was beeping, and I walked past the guy's car later, because to get home, he was just resting his head on his arm. Honestly, could not care less. The fact that he was nearly just killed. And like, pretty crazy to think some guy nearly got a bus driver fired, himself killed, and most sadly, his car broken. But, well, that is my public transport and shop stories. Bye.